what will you expect? Now, during the breakout room, so I will remember, we'll go ahead. The meeting is being recorded, please. So you take note. I hope I've initiated my own recording here. So the meeting is being recorded.
Are we going to work? Excuse me. Are we going to record in our different group?
Yes, I've already enabled all of you already now, so yeah, you can be able to do that. So you'll be on the hot seat for those that we
have the ability to degrade petroleum hydrocarbons, thereby cleaning up the oil, bringing it back to normality. This is so important because the time by microorganisms, some selected important microorganisms, which are eco-friendly and efficient as well. And again, I am also interested in the Hello, sir.
I'm listening. Yeah, you have like 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is a very long time. So this is when you realize that you have a lot to say. So the floor is still open for you. You have 5 minutes. You have exhausted 3.5 minutes.
So considering the situation of oil scarcity, fuel scarcity, and pollutions in Nigeria, it's drew my mind to undertake some such studies in bioremediation, which I did in my undergraduate studies research. I was able to employ some microorganisms, especially there's a microorganism called superbug, and we used it in bioremediation. Again, I'm much interested in enhanced oil recovery. There are situations whereby so many techniques has been employed in the enhanced oil recovery technology, thereby helping to recover some oil reserve in the world. This new technology, enzyme enhanced oil recovery, is so promising and efficient, whereby you employ some selected enzymes in an already or old oil well, and these enzymes have the ability to upgrade the oil output or extraction by 2 mechanisms. Number one is by wettability, and the number 2 is that these enzymes, they decrease the surface or interfacial tension of the oil and sandstone, thereby increasing the extraction or optimizing the oil output. So that's why I'm so interested in.
Thank you, Benedict. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I love the fact that you know the subject matter. I love the fact that you are passionate about what you want to study. However, you missed out. There's something I want to say categorically now. Please try to write a short. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, please try to write a short script to have a good introduction. Your introduction wasn't that sound. So please write a short script, with a brief introduction. And then while giving your introduction, use statistics. You can go on Google, try to check what's happening in the Niger Delta as regards pollution, contamination, what they've suffered, how it has affected them, their economy, and so on and so forth. Go on Google. Now, don't limit yourself to only the oil and gas industry. There are also other states in Nigeria that have suffered issues of soil and water pollution as a result of mineral exploration. For example, we have a case in Bagega, Zamfara State in Nigeria. There's also another case, I think, in Niger or Nasarawa as a result of mineral exploration. So it's not only oil and gas. You need to expand. I love the fact that you know the subject matter. So it's really very interesting. That's one. You should give statistics, write a script so that it will be, you can use some action words, you know, having reviewed this, haven't done that, we decide to strategically do this. So this is the importance of writing a script. I'm not saying you should cram it, but at least from, you know, from doing this exercise, you can acquaint yourself with certain action words to use in the course of your interview. You didn't tell me what are your post-study career goals. Yes, they are on your SOP, but they want to hear it. You know, sometimes they might not be able to scan through it. So can you tell me what are your, although in this regard, they might ask you specifically, so what are your post-study career goals? What do you intend to achieve after your study?
What I intend to achieve after my study is to be able to generate my long-term achieve a goal is to be able to generate useful.
No, sorry, start with your short term. When immediately you come back, that's your short term. Start with your short term.
I'm hoping that when I come back, or when I return to my home country, that this resulting competence and qualification as a result of this scholarship in biochemical engineering, I'll be able to secure a good job in the oil and gas industry, or in the institution, tertiary institution, where I will do technological exploit, utilizing the knowledge and skills I will acquire as a result of this scholarship. And
okay, so what's your midterm career plan?
You say?
What's your midterm career plan? Please? 5 to 7 years after studying.
My long-term goal is that
midterm, years, 5 to 7 years.
In 5 to 7 years, I'll be able to form research collaborations with other researchers in this area of studies, in order to generate data that will help the Nigerian government in policy making, and by so doing, also help the oil and gas industry, you know, to solve the lingering fuel scarcity and pollution in the country.
Okay, so what's your long-term career goal?
A long-term career goal is that in years to come, that I will be able to mentor people, or other researchers, or other graduates in the field of biochemical engineering, and also collaborate with other researchers and carry out researches that will be able to generate we'll be able to generate data that will be used by the oil and gas industry, or maybe in the tertiary institution, in order to, you know, advance technology in Nigeria.
Okay, so to add more depth to what you presented so far, you intend to make what? Research collaborations with other professionals in your field. I would advise you, now you can go on LinkedIn to connect with experts in your field, and then you can talk about it during your interview. You know, currently you are connecting with research experts after your studies. You feel you are equipped enough to collaborate, you know, so now you can start connecting with experts in your field, you know, on LinkedIn, and then say during the interview, currently you are creating connections, that immediately you come back, you can engage in research collaborations. You want to take up a PhD, XYZ. If you are someone who is politically inclined, well, it's also okay to provide data. If not, you have to maybe say a way to recommend your data for use, because we all know that most times research ends up in the shelf. You know, so you need to show a link, because these people are, they want something organic. So these people, they want something organic, you know, so they know what's on ground, they know what's happening. Use action words, ginger them, tell them that you know what you are doing. Refer to current policies in the oil and gas industry, you know. So it's a very good one. It's your first mock interview, so with time, I know it will get better, but I like the fact that you know your onions, you know the subject matter, you know the scientific detail of what you want to do. I love that. For my bachelor's, I worked on soil, but not remediation specifically. I used Sporosacina pasteurii bacteria, to treat a soil for use in the construction industry. So I know some of the things, yes, you are talking about. And then for the last one, do you have any questions for the interviewers? What questions do you have for the interviewers?
I have question. The question goes this way: could caustic soda enhance oil recovery? Could caustic soda be used in enhanced oil recovery? I'm just thinking out loud if we could form a research team in this subject.
Okay. So what's your second question?
I don't have a second question for now.
Okay, so good. Your research area of interest is in bioremediation, and then you intend to use microorganisms. So that's why we are sending you, we want to send you overseas to get more expertise. Now, as regard caustic soda, is it within your research area of interest, or you are curious to know about caustic soda?
In enhanced oil recovery, there are so many methods, so many materials that can be injected inside the reservoir. So I'm just thinking aloud, or maybe I would like, I'm curious to know if caustic soda could also, enhance oil recovery and optimize the
output. So when we send you there, you ask the professors, you ask the doctors in your field, and then they try to shed more light on this. So it's a very good question to give you perspective on the question you've asked. Sometimes not everyone on your panel is an authority in your field. So that's why you see initially I asked you to use statistics, use data, because during your interview, engineers will be the main interviewers. So someone interviewing you maybe the people interviewing you might have background in electrical engineering, and let's say maybe mechanical engineering, or maybe material engineering. These are engineers. They might not have specific detail on like research, like the actual research methodology you are talking about. But then your ability to communicate your motivation is the most important thing. Given statistics, okay, you've had this research experience during your first degree. How have you been able to build on that currently? And then how do you intend to maximize the opportunity? So these are the things they're interested. If you're a PhD student, it's different for you. For PhD students, you have to delve into the methodology, you have to delve into the literature review. At least if you're talking about some of these things, they are renowned literature review that you are supposed to mention. And when these things are missing, like, it shows that you don't know your onion. So for MSc level, you have to keep it simple. You have to keep it simple. So that's why they don't really care about some of these specific details. It's just your ability to connect the dots. So thank you very much, Benedict. Like I've said, write a script, have a very good introduction, give statistics, what you've done, and then try to polish your post-study career goals. I love the fact that you know what you want to study, in depth, of what you intend to achieve. So and then you should try to review the question you ask the panel. Ask a smart, strategic question. Ask a very strategic question. So yes, that's during our time, it was I think COVID, was it within the COVID, not COVID season, we did our interview. So we were asking the panel, how is it going to be like when we travel overseas, considering what's happening in during the COVID era. So these are like some of the questions you can ask. So it must not necessarily be like a scientific or like a classroom question per se. So thank you very much, Benedict. Hope to keep in touch. If you have other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Then we move to the second person, Usman Joseph. You can mute yourself now. Usman Joseph. Is Usman Joseph Usman Joseph? So if Usman Joseph is unavailable, can we take Toluwase away? Toluwase away?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So next we have Toluwase away. So Toluwase, how are you today?
Thanks so much, Mohammed. I'm fine.
Okay, let me quickly open your statement of purpose. So Toluwase Awe, a graduate of which university? Federal University of Technology, Mina. With the first class. Congratulations. So,
thank you.
Toluwase, why do you feel we should sponsor you for this academic pursuit? Can you tell us your motivation? The floor is open to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so my research field covers safety and reliability engineering, asset management, gas engineering, and gas management. For the past 3 years, I've worked with NMPC Limited as an instrumentation control and telecommunications engineer. So because of my role, I've been able to see some of the problems Nigeria face in our oil and gas industry. For instance, over the past 7 months, we have not been able to reach our OPEC quota of 1.7 million barrels of oil per day. And this actually highlights a lot of our challenges. So having been on numerous projects, ranging from our field redevelopment and even construction of condensate refineries, I've actually developed interest and motivation in solving Nigeria problem. I'm sure that if I'm given the opportunity to pursue a master's degree, I can be able to contribute towards higher production levels and address many of our reliability issues. Thank you.
Okay, I love the fact that you're able to present yourself like within a very short time frame. However, you have like 5 minutes, so you want to speak more. Yes, you graduated with a first class. You're working currently in the NNPC, which is really very good. You were yet to communicate your post-study career plans. What do you intend to achieve after your study?
Okay. All right. Okay, so in the midterm, after I've gotten a master's degree in safety and reliability engineering, I actually plan to return back to my SBU, which is an NMPC Engineering and Technical Company Limited, and collaborate with other engineers on our projects. So there are many long-term projects that are happening right now in the industry, such as the Trans-Saharan gas pipeline, Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline, and many other facilities which have been designed. So I plan to use my academic knowledge coupled with the expertise and expansion, the networking and collaboration that I'm going to gather while doing my master's degree to help the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. Also, I believe a lot in knowledge transfer and capacity building. So we do a lot of launch and learns, we do a lot of tutorials within ourselves in the company. So I'm going to use my newfound knowledge, leverage on it to tell the other engineers or tutor the other engineers about any knowledge that I'm able to gather while doing my master's degree. And so that's my midterm / long-term plan. Thank you.
Okay, so what plan do you have to help other professionals benefit, or like, because it seems you are enclosing this knowledge within the NNPC, do you have plans to disseminate knowledge to people in other spheres of life who might need this knowledge of yours?
Yes, yes, I do. For instance, I'm an active participant in my NSC chapter, that's NSC VI, and we hold a lot of workshop, a lot of tutorials within ourselves that actually encompasses other engineers. So the same work that I do with NMPC engineers in-house, I'm also going to extend it to the engineers in my NSC chapter, and as many opportunities as are available, I'm going to make sure that I pass on the knowledge I gain during my stay for my master's degree.
That's interesting. And then, do you have any questions for us?
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So my question is around PTDF, PTDF, I would like to say more like services. So is there postgraduate plans? Is there a way in which people who go through PTDF are mentored after? Is there a kind of oversight for how the performance of people in PTDF goes after the award?
Okay, so to answer your question in a brief way, we have like WhatsApp group, we have alumni team, so like you can connect with other people and then you can foster collaborations. But for direct mentorship, PTDF leadership is transitory, like it's not permanent. So like others go, like some come and then some go. However, there are people who you can get in touch with. There are different departments in the PTDF. There's the education department, so like you can make collaborations. And if you have a patent in the course of your study, you can also present it to PTDF, and then they will see what they can do about it. So there's a whole lot of ecosystem in the PTDF that you can leverage on and then develop your potentials. Thank you very much.
Right.
It was an interesting session with you. I would really say that you're a good candidate. Your first class is really your first class is really visible. So I commend you for this, and then I hope you keep this same spirit in the course of your interview, being vocal. Your ability to answer the questions well within a small time frame. And then permit me to say, do you have publications?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So see you in the UK by God's willing. It's a very good interview. I commend you, and then I hope to see you. I hope to see the update on your LinkedIn profile. Our way. University.
All right, thanks so much.
All right. So the next person is Samuel Ifada. Samuel.
Good evening, sir.
Samuel.
I'm here. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Samuel. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I'm having issue with my camera.
It's okay. It's not a problem at all. From the prestigious University of Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. Samuel, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So Samuel, why do you want us to sponsor you? Why do you want us to send you overseas to study energy? Can you make a presentation?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Specifically, I'm interested in sustainable industrial engineering, and it is very simple. Like I said, this research comes out from my experience in my undergraduate level when I was opportune to involve in various courses and research. Specifically, I carry out my research in computational condensed matter physics, where I was opportune to test material in various properties. For example, optimization of materials, the mechanical properties, structural and electronical band properties of materials. As a result, I was amused with this ability of how this material can be integrated into ideas can be integrated. the reasons why I'm interested in the word sustainable industrial engineering is because sustainability is the key for a functional industry. Now, this sustainable industrial engineering is going to give me the expertise in involving sustainable practice into the engineering process, because the recent issues in our oil and gas sector that has to comes with oil spillage and some other gas emissions as a result of lack of sustainable practice. For instance, if we narrow these things now down to the materials that are being used, when materials are properly tested, for instance, the mechanical properties of material that talks about the stability of a material, the type of the material, and when it is needed. The sustainability industrial engineering comes play in aligning this material at a particular time in a particular situation. That is why I'm fully interested and having this mindset of studying sustainable industrial engineering, and also affect our economy, most particularly our environment, and reduction of waste, optimization of resources. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel. I think I would also recommend what I recommended to Benedict Martin initially to you. Try to write a script, have a fluid introduction, like something that you can use to introduce your presentation. Unlike Toluwaseun Awe, whose current job is strongly aligned to the oil and gas. He graduated with a first class. He ticks like all the boxes. So I feel it's easy for him, you know, like having reviewed his SOP and his presentation, it's really very easy for him. Now, for yourself, I would also recommend that you don't talk about your CGPA. Saying that you graduated with a second class upper is enough. If you had maybe graduated with a 4 point something, maybe 4.4, yes, you might want to talk about it, maybe a first class CGPA, well, but it's a second class upper CGPA, not that bad, but like it's not necessary to have it included in your SOP. That's one. And then give statistics. I'm here to hear what you are doing currently in this field. Have you volunteered? Have you worked in this field? Have you taken online courses? Why? What have you done to further your course, you know, in preparing for this study? You didn't say it. Yes, you've talked about your motivation and how it affects Nigerian people and how it aligns with the oil and gas. Can you tell me your post-study career plans? Now, what they are looking for specific candidates. You know, they are looking for specific candidates. They want to see what you are doing now, what you've done in the past, and then what you propose to do in the future. While you stated the importance of the course and how it aligns with oil and gas, you are missing some other key details, you know, which I would want you to include. So can you tell me what you are doing currently, presently? Are you in the industry? Are you in the academia? Are you taking up a research? Are you doing a business? What are you doing currently?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Now, currently, serving as a personal research assistant to a computational condensed matter physics professor here in the University of Benin. This is a result of after my undergraduate study, where I carry out my research in material science. So I was opportune after my NYSC. I was called upon to continue carrying up another research, majorly in testing of material properties. Most especially now we are working on the stability of materials. Like recently, my paper that was sent for publication was released on the electronic and mechanical properties of some perovskite materials and how they affect renewable energy, how they affect the sustainability of the renewable.
These are the things that you're supposed to talk about during your interview. You know, you've stated the problem. You should state what you are doing now, and then you delve into, you know, your post-study career goal for short term when you come back if you want to take up a PhD. And then moreover, why do you want to go overseas? don't they have this course to study? Why are you not taking up the MSc with your mentor in the University of Benin? Do you have a specific reason for going overseas? Because these are the questions they are looking out for.
Yes, I want to go overseas to Granite Institute in France. Why? Because of the facilities that is available, the research equipment that they have over there that we don't have in our universities
Can
here
you
in
go into
Nigeria,
specific? Can
especially
you
in
go
the
into
public.
specific details? What facilities, what machines do they have that you don't have dear University of Benin? These are the things that
Okay,
makes your interview concrete. You have to do your homework, know the machines they have there, and then you don't have it in your laboratory. If you can talk about a gap or like a challenge you experience while carrying out a research, and then maybe after reviewing some journals, you saw that the publications were coming from that particular university. Yes, you can state it. You know, it's part of what you intend to achieve while going there. If you know renowned professors there, you can say it. It might not necessarily be the machine, it might be the think tank, you know, which like the individuals, the experts in the field to say it. As in, you need to, they are looking for something in every candidate, yeah, during your interview. So if you have this thing, it would reflect itself, you know, as you continue to discuss. So you need to hit key points, you know. So it's not just sending you overseas. Yes, if you have this course in Nigeria, it's cheaper for them. That's why they have the local scholarship, you know, so they wouldn't want to invest millions on you if you can achieve that within the country. So you need to be specific. They have XRF machine, they have ABC machine, which we don't have. For example, while we were doing this, because of doing that, we were unable to do this. We had to send sample to Australia. You know, these are the kind of things they want to hear. And then currently, I've reviewed research work by renowned professors such as Professor Francois or Professor Emmanuel Macron, Professor this, Professor that. You know, show that you know your onions. They are looking for people who have motivation. That's why they call it personal statement or letter of motivation. So these are the kind of motivation that they are looking for. I'm not saying this to hit your spirit. I'm not saying this you know, I'm trying to motivate you, you know, to become, to present better, you know, and then to look inward, to know what you also actually want. You know, it's like an improvement session for yourself too. So you can connect this thing with like the SDG, you know, when you come back, if you want to take up a PhD, if you want to mentor people, if you want to go back to your research lab, talk about it, you know. So like they want specific detail. Not that, yes, it's okay, you want to do this in the oil and gas. Try to be specific, you know, that's why I really love the session with Toluwashi. You know, he was specific. He works in the NNPC. They do instrumentation there. When he comes back, he wants to transfer this knowledge to his colleagues. And then when I asked him for that, are you limiting to your colleagues? He said no. He is a member of NSC branch. And then from time to time, because I know what happens in NSC, whenever you have your session like this once in a month, sometimes people present technical papers. Yes, these are some of the things that, you know, it shows that he knows his onions. And then I want you to be specific like this, you know. So that's why I'm pushing you, I'm motivating you, you know, to give specific detail on this. So do you have any questions for the panel?
Yeah, thank you very much. Concerning the way you just said it, I think the issue I was having was the manner of presentation, because I didn't put it at a particular time or at the right time, like what is supposed to come first at a particular time. The truth is that during our research in computational material science, we discovered that some of this research had been sent overseas. For instance, when we are digging up on phonon properties that has to do with thermal conductivity of materials, we don't get these data equally here in Nigeria because we use this quantum espresso from Ubuntu operating system. Some of these things are not gotten yet because here we use density functional theory, and in the outside world, like in France, in US, there is what we call VARPS. Is another version or another theory in using calculating and computational science. So these are some of the reasons why studying overseas becomes an advantage in the academic and research of the units of the university, because those are one of the lacks that we have in the country, and that's one of the major reasons why I want to go overseas
Okay,
to
so
acquire
can
this
you remind me
knowledge.
again, what's your post-study career goal? What do you intend to achieve when you come back?
Yeah, my post-study career and goal is to involve immensely into educational academic research. I want to research into materials that have the ability to improve sustainability in industrial engineering.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
materials.
you should try to go like you should try to go into specific detail, polymer, and then maybe waste. If it's agricultural waste, industrial waste, why are you selecting industrial waste? Because it has high sustainability. It can be generated in large quantity, etc., etc. Like be specific. Like don't be vague. Don't beat about the bush. Like straight to the point, specific details, specific point. They are not there to steal your research. They just want to see the motivation. They might not even have the same background as yourself. Maybe don't be surprised. You have maybe an electrical engineer as the chief panelist. So it doesn't remove the fact that they can't, or it doesn't make them it doesn't remove the fact that like they can't interview you or something. So you need to give specific detail. Like I'll always advise you to give specific detail, answer it maturely. But all in all, I like the energy. Now that I'm asking you question, like everything is coming out. So during the interview session, please, these things we've discussed, present it to them. Yeah, present it to them.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Concerning my personal statements, to be honest with you, I just wrote that personal statement because I applied for various scholarship. I just wrote that personal statement, and I was surprised to see the mail that I was shortlisted. You understand?
Yes.
To be honest with you, I know there are some things that are written there that are not supposed to be there. Like my GPA has to do with my second class up that and that. So actually, I know the subject matter how in relating them with material science, sustainable industrial engineering, and how it affects the oil and gas, which has to do with energy efficiency, waste reduction, and resources optimizations. I know all these things, but thank you very, very much for giving me these ideas so that I'll go back to my drawing board and fix them and know when to say them at a particular time.
Yeah, so like I'll always contribute to write a script, not for you to cram, but to help you, even you too, while presenting it to somebody using the script, if you can make your presentation to someone who is not an engineer, like for me, there's no presentation you make in engineering that like I can't understand. But imagine you are presenting to someone who studied English language, and then the person is not motivated, then you know that there's a big problem. You are supposed to, you should be able to break it down, for someone who is not in your field to understand. That is if it's for PhD, it's a different ball game entirely, So like, I'm happy these things are coming out, and that this is the main reason why we're organizing this session. So do you have any questions for us? I don't know if you have asked that.
No, I don't. The question I want to ask is that am I going to be judged based on the personal statements?
No. Like it's not only on the personal statement. Your O level, your bachelor, if you have publications and so on and so forth. So like you have a lot, a lot comes in to award you the scholarship. During my time, I have a colleague from my secondary school who graduated with it first. He was the best student in his university, like not only Faculty of Engineering. He graduated as the best student. He has about 5 publications and so, but he wasn't taken for the scholarship. So sometimes it's not about the qualifications you have. No, if you have these things and you don't even know where you are going, or you are unable to communicate your own motivation, it becomes a problem. They want to give this scholarship to people who are mature enough to make good use of the certificate, of the opportunity, of the network, etc., etc. So like, yeah, don't look down on yourself because you graduated with a second class upper. No, it's not. Maybe because you have so many publications and you are a first class student, you feel they'll give you the scholarship. It doesn't work like that too, you know. So different things come into play, and then there's a place for merit, you know. So like yeah, that's what I have to say. So thank you very much, Samuel. We go over to the next person. Right. So the next person is Oluyele Son. Okay, let me say Sunday Anthony, please. Sunday Anthony.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Sunday Anthony. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Evening. So Sunday Anthony,
Yeah.
from Niger Delta. Wow. Niger Delta University or Niger Delta region?
I really did not put the school I graduated from on my SOP.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So
I actually
Sunday
graduated
Anthony,
from.
So why do you want us to sponsor you overseas? Why do you want to get this scholarship opportunity? Why do you feel you are a worthy investment? Can you make your presentation, please?
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening once again. My name is Sunday Oluyele Anthony, and basically it all started when I was watching the news, and I saw that about 10%, just in 2022, about 10% of the oil pump was going into oil theft. And this particular issue led to a lot of things, including environmental spillage, political issues, ecological issues, and things relating to fire burning and everything. A lot of environmental problems especially in the Niger Delta region, and it all boils down to this issue of oil theft. I also saw the managing director of the NNPC sometimes 4 months ago saying that one of the most difficult thing is that the issue of oil theft is getting very difficult to manage. And I said to myself that what are the issues, like what are the things we can do to solve this issue. And I saw that I have some skills and I have some things that I do personally by myself relating to data science. Currently, I'm interning with a company in Lagos as a data science intern in Beacom Data Center, where I work as also as a Python developer, where we do a lot of data gathering, data collection, exploratory data analysis, machine learning model training, and everything like that. And I saw that these things come in handy, and it can help to solve the issue of oil theft in Nigeria. It can help us to uncover insights. We can even go as far as doing some form of object recognition, checking through the power of computer vision. We can check where there are maybe leakages, where there are faults, where there are illegal connections through the satellite maps and everything to help curb the issue of oil theft in Nigeria. And I plan to secure this scholarship in the UK. It is going to help me to gain a wide range of opportunities, also see some form of global perspective to this issue, how they are doing it in UK, how it is being done there, how they curb such issues MSc, and would also give me an opportunity to meet with some professors that have renowned researches and have done a lot of things in this area. And some other things is that when I have a short-term goal of coming back to Nigeria, to come back to my alma mater, Federal University of Ekiti, to train people, to train students, also give my quota when it comes to machine learning, training people in machine learning, data science as a whole, computer vision, things like that. Also, on my long-term goal, I plan to collaborate with a lot of research experts, and I want to become a renowned machine learning expert, such that I will be able to, not just become a model that fits, engineer, not just to get in data and just fitting into a model, into a machine learning model, but to be able to know the inner workings of how these algorithms work and how it can benefit my country as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sunday Anthony. Actually, when I reviewed your SOP, I think you are the first person presenting data analytics who has a very good, a very good idea of how this knowledge is highly beneficial in the oil and gas. I love the fact that, you've said that once you have data, it will reveal insights, to identify pattern, vulnerabilities, and then to detect, potential theft incidents. So I love this perspective, that you are coming from. If you can flog more on this and then try to strengthen your data, you are a data expert, but like I'm not feeling the data, in the introductory aspect of your presentation, if you should try to see what's the statistics on oil, on the amount of oil being lost, maybe in terms of pipe leakage, in terms of vandalization, maybe those stealing by ship and so on and so forth. Play with data. The panel should feel your expertise in the field of data, and then you can come down, tell them, okay, when you get like accurate data, it will help you to identify the theft pattern and then provide solutions where necessary. Maybe places where they engage in pipe bunkering, they can use maybe ballistic materials, which makes such areas very difficult, or maybe they might want to strengthen security within such region, or maybe identify the pattern. Maybe if the theft is seasonal, so on and so forth, just play with it. Let them know that you've been in this field for a while now. If you won any award in this field of data, or if you've recorded a good milestone, you can tell them, while we're doing so and so X and Y, Z, we won this. Because if at all you have, though, if you don't have, please don't lie to the panel, please. So if you have any, talk about it, and then when you come back, talk about what's happening in the current oil and gas industry. I want to feel the statistics, and then I like the way you introduced it, but you feel you're a bit relaxed, and then like I wasn't getting the required motivation, like your hand gesticulation. I know that you are a calm person, but you need to add more fire to it. And then your post-study career goals, can you review it again? Yes, I know you were saying something of becoming a mentor to some people, right? If I can remember well. Can we review your...
Yeah, I mentioned my short career goal, which I said I intend to come back to my alma mater, Federal University of Ekiti, to lecture students, and also come together with other lecturers and come up with solutions that can help in the area of data science and also in the area of oil and gas.
Have you started something in this regard now? Like, have you started something in this regard presently?
Not yet.
Are you keeping in touch with the lecturers?
No.
Are you communicating your progress, or are you just having this kind of, and then
Yeah.
data analytics? Why should you be sponsored overseas? Don't we offer these courses in Nigerian universities?
Yes, I actually mentioned something about also having a form of global perspective to this problem. I know basically we have some Nigeria specific problem that are which is basically the issue of this oil debt basically in Nigeria, and I would want to be sponsored to UK to also see how they solve issues like that, because it is mostly prevalent in Nigeria, and I want to know how it is being solved, how they are doing it, how the researchers practice over there do it. And I've also seen a lot of publications and researches being done really in the area of data science in the University of Salford, where I intend to apply to. So those are some of the reasons why I want to study in the UK.
Okay. I would also advise that you go in depth, look up some of the research experts there, mention their names, mention like briefly, maybe you can, for example, Professor Rice and Beans, that made so and so publication. You want to study under his tutelage, or you want him to become your professor supervisor to gain good perspective on the area in which he's now known as an authority, so you would want to go in depth, like don't float on the surface, go deep, be specific, tell them that you've done your homework, it's left for them to sponsor you. So okay, for example, you said you want to collaborate with people in your department. Yes, if you started some discussions with them, say it. Currently I'm in a close discussion with my undergraduate supervisor. When I come back, I would like to take up a PhD under him, and then maybe become a graduate assistant or a research assistant while taking up my PhD. And then I also want to disseminate this knowledge through publication of journals, etc., XYZ. So like you need to be specific. You need to show that you know what you are doing. You need to show like maturity in terms of your career trajectory, your career path. So these are the kind of things that they want to hear. So quickly, do you have any questions for the panel?
Yeah, I have one question for I just want to know, are there like other things that are also involved in this PTDF? I know there is OSS. I know there's which is this one that we have applied to. I know there's one other one. I just want to know, aside from this OSS, are there other opportunities connected with PTDF?
Okay, so yes, there's OSS and then there's LSS. LSS is the local scholarship scheme. OSS means overseas scholarship scheme. So the LSS is the scholarship scheme where you study in a Nigerian university, and then they'll fund you. If I can remember well, it used to be 1.5 million. I don't know if it has increased or maybe otherwise. And then there's the overseas. So depending on the country, your tuition and school fees are different. And then for other programs, yes, PTDF organizes other program, training of local manpower. During our time, I reviewed some of the things PTDF was doing, like training welders, training welders in the training welders, on how to training people on how to weld and so on and so forth, So like, yes, PTDF has different programs, so research, hands-on program, and so on and so forth. So yes. And then another thing I would suggest is you should ask questions that so this question you've asked now, what do you intend to achieve with the answer? Is it that maybe, okay, do you have, you might want to ask them if PTDF has maybe other programs that when you come back, you can assist them as a way of giving back Yes, this is a smart way of asking a question. Do you have other programs that you train local manpower as a way of giving back? I want to volunteer while, as a way of giving back, as a way of showing appreciation, without, so it shows that you have good faith, towards giving back and so on and so on. So whenever you want to ask a question, make it strategic, make it smart, and then you should look for a connection between what you intend to achieve and then like the question you're asking. So there should be a strong link between the two. So thank you very much, Sunday Anthony.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to ask a question.
Go on.
Sorry. Yes, like you mentioned, that I should try to include a lot of data in while discussing. I want to ask how I can do this, since I already have my SOP already printed and everything. Should I just say it orally, or I should try and update my SOP?
Okay, so what you do is, if you want to update your SOP, so prepare a new SOP and then print at least 5 copies, because sometimes you can have like 4 panelists. So if you have 4 persons on your panel, you share it to all of them. So I will not advise you print 2, because if you print 2 and then you give it to only two persons on the panel, the other, if you give it to the chief panelist and let's say the person who records, the other 2 might feel that you are looking down on them, which is really not good. It might not add to anything, but it's not wise, because the decision is being made. They enter your record, your points, and then they send it to Abuja. But then they also make deliberation. They discuss amongst themselves. So it's really not wise. I'd advise you print 5 copies, 4 for the panel, and then 1 for yourself. So that maybe once you can just peep and then look. And then I'll also suggest you write like a small script of your presentation, so that you say whatever you want to say within 5 minutes, and then you try to cover at least key points, using action verbs or action words, professional words, that shows that you're motivated. When you start saying, your time is going, there's a break, it might become boring and so on and so forth, So like, to me, I see presentation as like a story. I'm taking you from somewhere, I give you the problem, I give you the statistics, and then I move to the task. That's the situation. I use the STAR approach always. From the situation, I go to the task. So what have I done in the past in this field? What am I doing now? And then I go to like the action, which if you fund me or if you sponsor me, and then I study this course, this is what I intend to do. This is my short-term goal. This is my mid-term. This is my, so you see, it's like a story. And within 5 minutes is a very long time when talking, and you know what you're talking about. And then I go to the result. Okay, in the midterm, once I do this, I expect to have a leap in this result by so and so percentage. In the midterm, I expect this kind of result to have impacted, or to have like 100 mentees who would have, done this, done that, or maybe equipped about 50 persons with the skill, that I've gotten, and so on and so forth. In my long time, I want to become a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where I can move, I can make laws, that will help to propel our energy sector in the right direction. Yes, because you're going to study overseas does not mean that you won't take political position. So if you want to take a political position in the long term, you want to become a special advisor, you want to become a minister, you guys should not limit yourself to only the academia. You must not come back and go back to the laboratory. It's becoming a culture, or it's becoming like the norm. So if you have political ambition, say it. So leaders deserve to be educated too, not only academicians. So if you want to become a leader, you want to become a minister, you want to become a special advisor, yes, this knowledge will also come handy. So I'm not saying if this is not your career path, please don't say it. I'm just trying to open your mind, to the possibilities that you have. If you want to go into consultancy, please say it. You must not go back to the lab. You must not go back to the, you must not go back to the university. You must not become a teacher. If you want to start your own business, say it. So these are the things that they want to hear. And you know how it is. They want to hear organic things that they can relate with. Not that you come back, you want to do some Python, some SQL. You are importing data from Java to this. That's not what they want to hear. You know, so they want to hear something solid, and then they want to hear that you've created a path, you know, a link between these things. So like I'm saying too much, and there are other people on the queue. So you can always send in questions. You can always send in. It's just to make you, like you've said, you've applied for maybe other scholarships and so on. So this knowledge comes handy, you know. So yes, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, and then we move over to the next person. So this person is applying for data for this person wants to study data analytics. Yes, I can't see a name here. Sorry. So this person has no name. How am I going to identify this person now? So if the title of your document is 2023 PTDF Germany, it's time for your presentation, please. 2023 PTDF Germany, it's time for your presentation. There's no name to indicate. Okay,
sorry, I think, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's not that deep. Abdullah Ibrahim, a very good afternoon to you. How are you today?
Well, good afternoon. I'm fine. I'm sorry, I just want to state, before we begin, I want to clarify that I used to stammer.
No, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's fine. In fact, they want inclusion and diversity. So if you know your onion well, you can leverage on this, and then they give you this scholarship. I'm not saying it's a yardstick, though. I'm not saying you should overdo it, but then they want diversity, they want inclusion, you know. So they too, at least it's a thing of joy if the scholarship cuts across people from different ethnicity, different background, different physical, or maybe different challenges. So like, it's okay. Don't see it as a disadvantage for yourself, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Abdullah Ibrahim, why do you want us to send you overseas to study data analytics? Why do you feel you are a worthy investment to spend millions on you within this time of economic recession, or this period of economic challenge? So can I listen to your presentation now?
Okay. Sorry, the Nigerian the Nigerian oil and gas industry faces several challenges that can be minimized or rectified using data science. The industry is known to generate high amounts of data from exploration to production to refining, and also the distribution process. I believe with the necessary skills as a data scientist, I can help to extract valuable insight, and also optimize operations, which could lead to cost savings and increase profit and increase profitability, and increase profitability. And I also believe that my course of study can be applied across various other industries, such as the finance industry, the healthcare industry, and others.
Okay. So thank you, Abdullah Ibrahim. So my first recommendation is, please write a script. Please write a short script. You know, since you are stammering, it's easy for you to maybe forget or to repeat yourself, or you want to go back to repeat yourself. So if you have a script, in school we did a course in debate and humor. And then it's one of the presentation skills, you know, that we learned in the course of study here. So if you know you have this kind of challenge, you should have a small script in front of you that you read in a professional way. You should have a script in front of you that you read in a professional way. Like you shouldn't read it like you are reading. You should read it as if it's a conversation. You know, so that's my first recommendation for you. My second recommendation is that the second thing that I noticed in your SOP is that you stated that you are a data analyst in a lab. Okay, you were a data analyst during the COVID-19 pandemic. You can talk about it. You know, you stated you should state the problem in the field of oil and gas, and then how data, the knowledge of data analytics can help. You should be able to tell them what you were able to achieve, you know, during the COVID-19 as a data analyst. You know, it strengthens that conviction that you have a background in this field, you've done something commendable in this field, and then you should talk about your post-study career goals. So like I would recommend that you write a script. You have good knowledge of R, SQL, and Python, because I can see them in your SOP. So you should talk about these things. And then this is not like it's not like a guarantee or like a yes, but you can still slip it in. That's why maybe at the end of your presentation, that's why you are applying to PTDF, because they empower local manpower, people with different people from different background, you know, people okay, no, that's why you're applying to get the PTDF, the prestigious PTDF scholarship, because you believe that they empower local manpower, irrespective, considering diversity, considering special disability and so on. Just try to give like that kind of ending. You know, it might work wonders for you if you are lucky, but I mean, you are not blackmailing them, but you are telling them your own challenge and then your own condition. So state it. It's a free, it's an avenue to express yourself, to sell yourself, you know. So why should they take you? In addition to knowing what you want to do, it will also promote diversity. You know, you can just wrap it up using this, and then who won't be touched if you get it? It's because you have the qualifications. If you have publication, please go with it. If you are a member of a professional body, please go with it too. You know, and then you can tell them the fact that the field of data analytics in oil and gas, maybe only very few people venture into it, and then people who have disability, you know, just try to sell yourself, you know. So it's also an advantage for a friend of mine in UK who is on a wheelchair got a job before people that are, you know, that are fully okay. So sometimes these things can be a blessing, so you can leverage on them. Though it's a challenge for you, but yes, you are specially able. You know, this is your own special ability. So if they want to promote diversity and inclusion, you can sell it to them. Yes, you know what you want to do. You have your good career plan laid out. And then since they want to promote diversity and then empower local manpower in the country, yes, you feel that you are a worthy investment, because you be like an encouragement to other people out there and so on and so forth. So you can just chip it in, but not like you drag it though. You can just put it in a professional way to end your presentation. So thank you very much. Like I said, please write a script, It's very important. And then when you present from your script, present it in a professional way. So like.
Sorry, just to be clarified, sorry, just to clarify, will I be, is there, is there room to use script during the interview?
During the interview, you'll be seated, and then they'll be seated too. Okay. You will be facing them, and then you'll be facing each other. Sometimes you can have like 4 persons on your panel, and then like you'll be the only one. So if you have a script, it's in front of your table, and then they know your challenge, like they know your circumstance. So that's what I'm saying. You should try to read it in a professional way, like an interesting way, as if you are talking to them.
Just some few points.
Okay.
Okay, I understand.
Yes. So you should.
No, I'm talking about to add just few points.
Yes. So you can have like your presentation like on paper, so even if it is half scarf or like 1 full scarf, believe in me, it should cover for your time, and then don't forget this part that you believe that you're a strong candidate because you want to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much, Abdullah Usman. Because of time, I'll move to the next person. So,
thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry for taking your time. I've really checked about this script that you're talking about. Please, can you just give us some highlights on how we are going to arrange these scripts, because I'm already seeing the impact.
Yeah, so like they have said now, your introduction now, you can have it written down, because sometimes it's not easy to cram statistics. You can be cramming that you can't. It might not come out easily for you. Okay, maybe you want to say in the Niger Delta, maybe okay, maybe 67 or 63% of their water bodies are being polluted with oil and gas. Or maybe you are being specific. Okay, if you go to the Niger Delta region, if you go to the Bayelsa region, if you are going to talk much on some of these statistics, you need to have it on paper so that you don't have them interchanged, or you don't confuse them. That is 1. 2, so that it will, the moment you start talking, a lot of things, begin to reel into your head and so on and so forth. So by the time you have your script, you know how it is structured. The introductory aspect is like the situation, the problem, the statistics, and everything. Then you come to the task, your academic background, maybe your line of work currently that relates to what you want to study, and then like, you move to the next line, so that you don't begin to say things, arbitrarily, because some persons, when you ask what you have for us, they talk about only the course and then they stop there. So what about your post-study career goal? But if you have a script, it's easy to just peep and look, okay, you've not, and then you see this section where your post-study career goal, okay, I've not spoken about this, you want to talk about it. Or maybe you want to talk about what you intend to achieve, while studying. Okay, Professor Zander, or Professor Versace, or Professor Louis Vuitton, you need to collaborate, you need to do, so some of these things, if written on the paper, it's easy for you to remember, so unless you've been doing this thing for a very long time, yes, you have them in your head, so that's why you need to rehearse. You need to rehearse like very, very well for the script to be inside your head, because, these are the things you are going to say. In case you forget anything, it's easy to peep and look, and then you continue, it's just to like refresh your brain. But in the case of Ibrahim Abdullahi, who has a challenge, stammering, so he can decide to read from, but he should read it in a professional way, as if he's having a dialogue with them. So moving to the next person.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The next person, I can see that the title of your document is SOP. There is no name. And then it states that as a crucial component of the global energy system, you worked as a risk manager in IT Prox Technology Limited. There's no name on your SOP.
That's me. Sorry, that's
Okay.
me.
All right, David. A very good evening to you, David. It's nice to have you in this session. Without much ado, we've used a whole lot of time. There are some people who have not been listed, so I would want to give them opportunity. So let's like once I'm done with 10 persons, of course. So David, why should we sponsor you? Why do you feel you are a worthy investment? Why do you feel we should spend millions of naira on you to go overseas and study? Can you make your presentation now, please?
Okay, sorry, I was trying to enable my camera, but I think that I have to go to my phone settings. Good evening to you, Mr. Mohammed.
Good evening.
My name is David, graduate of mechanical engineering, and I picked my interest to study geodata management at Institute of Petroleum in France, IFP. It's one of the top schools there, and I particularly picked my interest because after my university education, I picked an internship at Lagos at IT Prox, like you read out. And as an intern there, I had access to, I worked with IT Prox Technologies Limited. The company was tasked with, it was subcontracted to Glo. It is subcontracted to Glo, and the company deals with the management and maintenance of the Glo satellites and masts and terminals, just to make sure that it keeps running, and then there's network for everybody. So while doing there, I was in the risk management department, and for the first time, well, since after education as a mechanical engineer, for the first time, I had to analyze risk. And you know how it is with companies that you have to, that's where the brain of the industry is, that you have to propel proper and effective decision making. You have to get it right at the data point. But working there and using Excel, it grew my enthusiasm to know more, get better at the data field. So I mean, I decided to pick up Python and started learning Python and SQL and the business intelligence softwares. And I realized that with the geographic information system, GIS, that's a system, that's a tool, and applying it to at large. Now I'm coming to Nigeria at large. I realized that if there is proper data analysis and management, that you can curb the vandalism of pipes. How do I mean that? First of all, pipeline routing, there's a process called least cost path analysis. And with that process, I'm sorry that I'm diverting from what I started with, but with the process of least cost path analysis, you can reduce the amounts that you have to spend for laying pipelines. For petroleum, you have like three streams. You have the upstream, you have the midstream, and then you have the downstream. The upstream is about analyzing to know places that you have petroleum, that how you can find exploring parts that you should mine, that you should dig your wells. And then the midstream, is with pipe routing, laying your pipes. And then the downstream is with transporting it and refining it. So first of all, you need to be very conversant with data. You have to do proper data management, and you have to do proper data analysis. You have to be able to get this data. You can't just go to an oil producing state and go about digging and wasting resources. So I intend to make good use of the education that I would learn and I will get from France, to when I'm back. I intend to enhance working with the government here in Nigeria. I intend to enhance proper decision making when it comes to exploration, oil exploration, laying the pipes. And as someone already mentioned, that we have a lot of vandalism going on in the Niger Delta region. We have a lot of vandalism. We have a lot of loss of lives. We have a lot of pollution. And that's because we don't take preventive measures to the vandalism. We just wait until they are done, and then we go ahead to manage it. So I believe that with the knowledge, with the resources that with the
or with the knowledge, with the resources of the PTDF, I would be able to gain enough resources, enough knowledge, I'm sorry there, enough knowledge to analyze patterns, to be able to see patterns and know the points that vandalism can happen, and then create models. And then, there are certain times and different times that these things happen the most. Through analysis, I can find that out. We can find that out.
Okay, okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, due to time factor, so that's why you see, I always advise you to have like a small, concise script, where like every of this detail is well embedded. So like you just said a whole lot of things you were explaining and so on and so forth. So I think there will be no time for you to do this. And then sometimes when you begin to explain too much, they will cut you short and then ask you specific questions. Like sometimes it might be as bad as they just ask you, do you have a publication? And then when you say yes, no, and then like, it's okay. But if you make the session very interesting, don't be surprised that they'll go beyond that time. Yes, they'll go beyond that time. But when you begin to explain, certain things, you guys should just be there, and then they just cut you short. So I always advise, have like a script. I'm not saying you should cram. It's just to help you stick to the time, to help you stay within the lane, to stay within the scope of your interview, to make sure you touch like almost all the area, to make the interview interesting, so that you don't begin to wander about. So like I've said, have the script, give statistics, say the situation, and then you should, I like the fact that you were able to you're able to create a link between data and the oil and gas, so you should, and then you are leaving out something that is very important. You're not talking about your post-study career goals. Like, this thing is very, very, very important. It's as no part of the interview is more important than the other. You should state the problem and state it well. You should state like the task, state the action, state it well, state like the action, state the results. These things, they are all important. None is more important than the other. So you should see how you can manage your time effectively and then fixing all these things, so like look for good reasons. I remember there was this time I went for a Chevening scholarship interview, and they were asking me why the UK and so on and so forth. Like, I had to look for unique reasons. Okay, I know everyone will come. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, because everybody studying data, believing me, will say what you are saying, but it's how you say it. Okay, I was asked, why do I want to study in the UK? And then I said, because they use English, and not just any kind of English, the Queen's English, which is our official lingua franca in Nigeria. So it makes it easy for me to communicate there, to understand and so on. So you need to be creative in how you answer. You need to go deep, be direct, hit the nail on the head. Create this connection between your answers and then maybe your background. It's like you are telling a story. You're moving them from point A to B to C to E and then down to Z. So like, please put these things into perspective and then try to manage your time well. So another thing is, do you have any question for the panel?
I'd like to know if there's an organization, like there's a body that guides in these different states, like these different countries. Like, I'm going to France. Is there an organization of scholars, ongoing scholars, that would help me, that will help get me integrated into the society? It's a different environment, and that will help me keep the ground running, if it makes any sense. That'll be my question.
Yes, you can connect easily to other scholars when you go. Their WhatsApp group for each country, so like in France, we have the Campus France. Campus France takes care of students in France. In Germany, you have was this popular scholarship in Germany? I've forgotten the name.
DAAD.
Exactly. So there's that. Yeah. So there's that in Germany. So it's easy to connect with people there, and then probably get. Although there are separate groups for PTDF scholars, so you can easily join their groups. When you get the scholarship, you get PTDF will do an orientation program for you. So you get to form your WhatsApp and then connect with those before you, like those in the system. So they'll help you to integrate well. And then PTDF has put up different things to help you integrate and then settle down well. So yes, that's it. And then we move to the second, to the last person, though we still have one more person. And then same thing, there is no name. So so this person wants to study in IFP, France, MSc in Reservoir Geoscience and Engineering. So please, can you identify yourself? You did your internship in Fan Milk PLC, Industrial Layout, Eleyele, Ibadan. And then yeah, this is it. Please identify yourself. You want to study, there's no name, so I can't really say who the person is. You want to study MSc in Reservoir Geoscience and Engineering in IFP, France. If you know that this is your SOP, please identify yourself. You did your intern, you studied electrical and electronic engineering. Okay, electronic and electrical engineering. And then you did your internship in Fan Milk PLC, Industrial Layout, Eleyele, Ibadan. Please identify yourself. And then the last person is, so the last person is Adeyemi. So Adeyemi, if you're ready now, you can come on board. Adeyemi. Adeyemi is the last person. So if I can't get the second to the last person, we can proceed. Probably we'll get the last person after Adeyemi. Adeyemi. So Adeyemi. Oh. So Adeyemi graduated with a first class. He studied material and metallurgical engineering. Adeyemi, please identify yourself so that we can have your session now. Adeyemi. Okay, so Adeyemi is not around, and then the other person, so is not around. So okay, since we still have time, I'll take arbitrarily on the group. Yes, Victor, you can come on board. You can come on board. Victor can come on board. Victor, you can come on board.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Victor. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I presently work in the raw water treatment plant. And I would like to study an MSc in renewable energy in Germany. I actually chose renewable energy because presently I work in the raw water treatment. Before now, I work with a generator. I work with a repair generator, and I see the art that fossil fuel actually costs on the economy, on the environment. And now working, most of my careers have always been in the utility. So the advent of the technology in renewable energy has actually changed, have a shift in my plans of to better the utility the utility world, thereby going to renewable energy like the solar, the wind. I see that if I get an MSc in renewable energy, I can better the life of not only people, also it will help the oil and gas sector to reduce the rate at which fossil fuel are being exposed to the aquatic life and also to the human beings. And I actually chose Germany because of aside learning the language, I'm someone that loves learning language, new language, meeting new people. I travel a lot, and also because of in my country, Nigeria, Germany products are actually known to be the best, part of the best products, and learning from from Germany will be a good way of meeting those expertise and those. I know I'll be able to get a better hands to teach me how renewable energies are being gotten. That's all I can say for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. I like your motivation. There is no one way of making presentation. By the way, nice background. I can see some big pipes. This is really interesting. So going directly, let me review what you've presented so far. I like the fact that you've stated where you are working, where you've worked, why you want to study in Germany, why the particular course you want to study. However, you didn't stress much on the situation, on the problem. Try to give statistics, try to give data, give a very good perspective, to the problem at hand. Show the magnitude, of the problem at hand, Yes. Do you have any publications? Do you have publications?
I don't have any publication aside my project during my aquatic life and also the they just pour out waste products that actually affect the aquatic life in the that way. If companies like us actually take water like that, it takes us enough to be able to refine, because we refine the water to use in a boiler, because we use STP, that's a fuel turbine generator. So if the water is salt water or is polluted, it takes a lot to be able to refine water like that.
Okay, so I think I'm beginning to get the perspective. The network is a bit unstable. My network service is poor. Sorry, my network is a bit poor. My network service is poor. So okay. I didn't get much of what you were saying because my network service is poor. But then generally, I love your motivation. I love the way you came in. What are your, okay, do you have any question for the panel?
For now, no, I don't have any. I guess most of my questions have been answered by the previous people that have actually asked questions about how to link with other scholars.
Yes,
actually.
Yeah.
Also,
nonetheless, you should have a question for the panel, please. Nonetheless, you should have a question for the panel. Yeah, so you should have a question for the panel, notwithstanding. So we move to the last person, Ahmed Hassan.
I noticed that the data scholarship, most of the times, you have to register is there any need to register on the Union Assist? Because I noticed most of the
No, not at all, not at all, not at all. No, not at all. So the PTDF will tell you what to do. So not at all. You have nothing to fear. For now, secure the scholarship first. So the next person, Ahmed Hassan, can you proceed? Thank you, Victor.
One more question, please. One more question, please.
Okay.
One more question. I just remembered something, please. Like now I got to apply for the admission to the University of Odimon, and I got the admission letter. Now, but I was required to pay some deposit, which I have not been able to do, and the time has actually elapsed.
Yeah. So you have nothing to fear for now. Once you go for your interview, you can tender the admission letter before the panel. Yes, you can present it to the panel. So it's not a guarantee that you get a scholarship, but if your motivation is good enough and then everything aligns well, probably they might want to consider you. So you just go with everything. So like, yeah, that's what I have to say. Just go with everything, but don't pay for any deposits now. Don't pay for any deposit now. So go with your admission letter, explain your case.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
So Hassan Ahmed, we have been given 8 minutes. So this session is going to close, let's say in the next 6 minutes. So Ahmed Hassan, over to you. You'll be the last person for the session. Because Dr. Joshua just informed me that you'll be closing the session.
Can I go on?
Yeah, welcome, Victor. So okay. Victor, you can mute your mic. Ahmed Hassan, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Very good evening, Ahmed. Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome. Can you just give your presentation briefly before we close the session?
Okay, I am Hassan Ahmed. I'm a civil engineer from the University of Agriculture.
Wow, that's cool. That's my background too.
From the University of Agriculture, Makurdi. I had internship with Kings and Associates Civil Engineering and Consultancy firm, where I carried out structural integrity tests, where we used non-destructive techniques for carrying out integrity tests for residential building. I just finished my national youth service with Denis Osadebe University, which is my place of assignment, and I worked with the Department of Works and Services. I have participated in workshops that helps me with the knowledge on monitoring and inspecting structures. One was a demonstration workshop organized by Institution where we had a demonstration workshop, structural integrity assessment of building and management. So the oil and gas industry plays a very important role in the economy, and it is evident that Nigeria is declining oil production. Statistics from OPEC and in the data released in April 2023 shows that Angola is now ahead of in oil production, and offshore oil production constitutes a significant portion of this Nigerian total of the Nigerian oil production. And offshore sites like the Bonga field and this other field, Egina produces approximately 225,000 barrels. So that shows how the offshore production in Nigeria have been a major contribution to the oil production of the country. But one of the challenges faced with the production of oil in Nigeria, as identified by World Bank, it shows that oil production in Nigeria declined due to lack of maintenance, loss of lack of maintenance and loss of infrastructure efficiency. So I I'm motivated to pursue a master's degree in civil engineering at the University of Abuja in research and implementation of a cost-effective structural health monitoring system. Now, if the Bonga oil field had have been having perennial shutdown in oil production as a result of under maintenance. One of the solutions could be the use of more advanced and effective structural monitoring system, which include to research, look at and courses have looked at the models. One thing that interested me is the model of MSc structural will help in my research. Courses on electronic systems, property and behavior of sustainable systems, and digital engineering analytics. I'm also interested in working with whose expertise cost system sizing interest. Looking at collaborating with Professor Edward, conducting an investigative research project focused on structural health monitoring offshore structures in Nigeria. So my short-term goal after the study is to see how I can contribute back to PTDF by participating in any of the PTDF in teaching engineering students, particularly those in the field, on how to use structural health monitoring systems, and in the meeting work with oil exploration and producing companies like Shell to see how I can contribute my knowledge with these companies. And then in the long run, I intend to also work with the Nigerian upstream NUPRC, Nigeria Upstream Production Regulatory Council, how the structural health of upstream offshore structures and be regulated and ensure that they are in their most integrity state to avoid incidences of accidents and turn down the oil production. Also to start a consultancy firm that will assist oil producing companies in monitoring health structure.
Thank you, Ahmed Hassan. We don't have much time. We were notified that the session will be closing in 8 minutes. So I was able, though the network is a bit unstable, I managed to get few things that you said. So why do you want to go overseas? Can't you study? Can't you take up this research project in Nigeria? Why do you want to study overseas?
Like I mentioned, I have looked at this research, discovered that
sorry, I can't hear you.
A lot of little research. Look, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I've tried to research and I discovered that more research have been done on structural health system, more advanced research on structural health monitoring system done outside the country. And professors who have been into this work, who have done similar research.
I think one thing is I would like to commend the fact that you were able to explain what you are doing currently, how it relates to oil and gas, and so on and so forth. Like I commend you for that part. I commend you for the part 2 you want to give back to the society and so on. So, but I think you need to also work on the part where you might be asked why you want to go overseas. Why not take up this research interest? What is the gap there, or what is the gap in what is being done in Nigeria when compared to overseas? So you need to look into this aspect critically well, because yes, I give it to you, you're able to communicate what you are doing now, what you intend to achieve, what you can do with this knowledge, but you should also try to look, at the gap I'm talking about. So, and then do you have a question for the panel? Ahmed, do you have a question for the panel?
I really don't have.
Okay, please, you should have, try to have a smart question for the panel. It also counts. Try to have at least two smart questions for the panel. At least it's part of the homework, that you need to do. So the interview is all encompassing. So yeah. Then since we have small time, Bola, you can make your presentation fast. If doctor closes, okay. In 56 seconds, this room will be closed. So
Can I have your number, please? So I can reach out to you.
Okay, I'll drop my email address in the general room. So you should take my email address from there. Then we communicate from there. Others who were unable to get a slot for this session, you can drop me an email. I'll try to create time for. I heard your interview start on Monday, so I'll try to create time for you this night till tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
Sorry, please. I have a quick question before the room breaks out.
Okay.
So, do we need to?
So, but do you think language is going to be a barrier when you come to France, do you?
Actually, language will not be a barrier to me, because I feel to be a new challenge for me to brace up, sit up, and face the challenge head on. I've had some background of French in my secondary school days, so I'm not totally alien to French. So it's just required for me to brush up my knowledge and face the challenge.
Okay. So if we don't give
Yes,
you scholarship, what will you do?
okay. I'll keep researching. I'll collaborate with other local researchers within the country, Nigeria, the other public universities, to keep the dream alive, to ensure that the vision I have was carrying out research.
Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here because everybody is back. We have 17 to 18 minutes. So I will give a general comments to everybody. So like I said, I'm interested in, is Michael Ayobami around? Michael, I need you to raise your hand. Please, can everybody drop his hand so that when Michael raises, I can see. So Michael. So hi, Michael. I think I welcome everybody, all the facilitators. I'll ask you to unmute when it's necessary to comment. So Michael, I'm asking you to unmute so that we'll have a discussion with you before we. Michael.
All right. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Good evening. So the reason I'm to the other facilitators, the background is noisy.
Sorry, I didn't get that. You said what, sir?
The background is noisy.
Yes, I'm actually in transit. I'm kind of heading home now, so it will get better. Let me just quickly rush inside.
Okay, so
sorry.
While we discuss with other people.
Just a minute, a minute, a minute. I'll get to a very quiet place. Just a minute.
Okay, so while he's getting to the place he wants to get to, thank you to everybody. I think the sessions were great for everyone. And it's quite good, I would say, and the responses are quite encouraging. But I think what you need to work on, it's to improve your level of connection of what you know before and what you want to do, and how is it relevant for the near future. So most, like I stated earlier, the people that will be in your panel are experts in your field. So that's why you will see that all the teams, you're divided into different teams. If you're going for petroleum geoscience, you meet experts in petroleum geoscience. If you're going for engineering, you're going to the team of engineering. So you meet professors in engineering, you meet industry experts in engineering to have a discussion with them. So it's important to know that you're not meeting somebody that studied sociology to interview you on with regards to engineering aspect. No, everything is going to be based on, because they're trying to select the best of the best that they could select. So it's important. So the reason I said I wanted to talk with Michael is because Michael apparently is the first time seeing somebody in accounting being shortlisted for PTDF, and he's going for supply chain. So that's why I want to have a discussion with him to see if from the other mentors we could add something to him. Michael, I can assume that you're at home now.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm at home now, sir.
So the mentors, you can unmute yourself and listen to Michael, and you can ask him questions as well. So I'll ask all the mentors to unmute, and you can ask him question where necessary if you have. So Michael, I'm really curious. You're the first time saying you studied accounting, and then you're going for a master's in supply chain and management. So how is it relevant to the objectives of PTDF?
Basically, first of all, I would like to just say that I'm actually still in shock too for getting the scholarship, because I just saw it online and I just give it a try. So I really wasn't I was a bit skeptical about the whole issue. In fact, I had someone on the platform too that did he or she apply? He said yes, but they didn't get, so I was so shocked. However, so basically down to your question, the relevance, supply chain management to the goals of PTDF, basically it's to the petroleum and oil and gas industry. Every business needs what's it called? Every industry has to do with either supply of goods or service. However, we are facing some basic challenges here in Nigeria, which has to do with transit, that's transportation infrastructure, the inventory management. And I feel as a master holder in this supply chain management, I would be able to, to bring in the knowledge which I must have acquired to cope this to fill this gap better still.
So do you think there's currently a problem around supply chain in Nigeria?
Yes, obviously there is a lot of problem down from each organization to the industry, then to Nigeria as a whole.
Tell me specifically two problems in supply chain in Nigeria.
As I said, we have something called problem in the transportation issue, which is the infrastructure, which has to do with which brings about a tedious way to transporting or to transiting goods and services and all that, and also the inventory management as well. The ports congestion in the Nigeria is one of the issues in supply chain management.
So how do you contribute to port congestion?
Sorry if I can assist you a little. So there is a colleague of ours, like in our cohort, who is studying supply chain currently. You know, he's a PTDF scholar and then he's studying supply chain currently. So I will try to look for his contact and see if he can help you. That is one. Now, when you talk of supply chain, it's not in isolation to logistics. The process of production, from the process of exploration, no, from the process of planning, exploration, transportation, selling, even down to the end use, you know, has to do with supply chain and logistics. So I think you should look for the gap in between these places and then use it to back up your claim as to why they should finance you. But I'm very sure there's a colleague of ours that's studying supply chain currently as a PTDF cohort. Supply chain is an integral part of the oil and gas. It's like it's a very strong aspect of oil and gas, and it's also a strong part of business. You know, there's a lady who wanted to study something similar last year. I reviewed her SOP. She didn't scale through the interview stage. So your course is valid. This is like a form of encouragement to you. Try to look for the gap in between. Try to see the connection. What if you are practicing in this field, how it relates to oil and gas. I know it's not something that is common. I know PTDF gives a window to people who study management and this aspect of logistics. So there's PTDF, I think it's like 4 phases: engineering, sciences, management, and I think law. Like these are the 4 fields. So management was included not quite long, maybe like 2-3 years back. So management is one part that's been sponsored by PTDF. So you should try to look into what I've said, the logistic aspect. There's a high cost of fuel in the country because of subsidy removal. If there's any gap, or if there's a way that you feel supply chain can come in to reduce the cost or to assist in one way or the other, I mean, anything is possible in as far as you can support your motivation with the required evidence, with what you've done in the past and everything. So
and then I think tell me about your previous background. You have a PhD in accounting, and you have been working in the accounting, or you worked in another sector?
So basically, first of all, I would like to thank the previous responder on the advice. I really appreciate it. I look forward to the person's number you're about to give me. So basically, I have had a first class in accounting, and I've actually worked in basically an accounting firm, an IT firm, precisely, and what's it called, in the accounting department, basically, and real estate, one of the biggest real estate in Nigeria, Premier Development Company, as one of the accountants. However, as I said, it's still a shock for me to have gotten this scholarship, but I would definitely strive and.
Okay. No. You're in the right place. Don't be shocked. Okay, it's all part of the business. And you should be fine.
I think he's just shocked that, you know, when you're shocked that probably you have not prepared for something, then you're shocked.
Exactly.
But please do not tell them that you're shocked, please, on the day of the interview. That you're really shocked that you just apply supply chain and you found yourself there. Please don't tell them that at all. You have to show that you establish the connection as much as you can, like Mohammed said. Exactly. So I will allow, if the other people have something to contribute to you, then we can take the general questions if there are concerns, and then we'll call it a day.
I thought Enos said was saying something, but you are muted.
Okay, somebody. Okay, Lukman. Yeah, I think you're muted. Lukman.
Oh yes. I guess I missed some seconds, but I think it's about general overview, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, it was a good experience, and from my reviews,
we want you to contribute to Mike
Sundays.
Then we'll take the general overview.
I should contribute to what? Sorry, I missed that.
To Michael Oyabo Ayobami, who is coming in for supply chain with the
supply chain.
Sorry, I missed that. I wasn't. I wasn't there. I tried to do something quick. Sorry. Okay. I thought it was about my session now.
Okay, no, I think we'll take the question, then we'll give the general comments to everybody. So please, if you have questions, I think we will take 5 questions at least, and then we'll have the general overview from the mentors, and then we can wish you guys the very best. And we'll hear from you when the list is finally out to see how many people are successful. We have 132 people that attended this section, and we will be glad if at least we'll have a success rate of 50, 60, 70, or 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, so we'll take 5 questions. I already see the 5 hands, so I'll take it one after the other. So Nuruddin Ola Lere, please go ahead and ask your question, and then the faculty will answer you. Nuruddin, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can
Hello.
hear. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead with your question.
Yes, thanks for the privilege. Sorry, I want to ask this question. Working on renewable energy, we know with more use of renewable energy, there will be lesser consumption of oil and gas. And PTDF money is oil money. So is the proposal not working against the prospective sponsor? I would like to see what you can say about that. I have 3 questions actually, but I would like you to answer this one before I say the remaining questions.
Anybody having a response for him?
Okay, yeah. Actually, his question is absolutely valid. And one of the things I have always tried to tell people who are talking about renewable energy is that you have to be absolutely careful about what you propose. Because we are, at the moment, an oil economy. And if you go there and criticize oil and gas, okay, in reality, I'm not talking about what is on paper. In reality, oil is going to be very, very much around for the next 20, 30 years, no matter what happens, okay? But if you follow the media, they just keep talking about, renewable energy and that what we're going to extract, alternative sources of energy and whatever. It's better to say, in terms of our revenue generation, what you are proposing should serve as an alternative source of income, to augment, the oil and gas industry, rather than just saying, oh, renewable energy. So if we produce if we generate electricity from wind energy in the northern part of Nigeria, for example, and export that to other African countries, you are supplementing. You are not really criticizing everything. So it's just a simple advice. His question is valid, and it's a simple advice for those who are talking about renewable energy. Whatever it is, just say that you're supplementing, you're adding value, rather than just criticizing, what we have established based on oil and gas production and stuff like that.
I will come in, Dr. Ali. I think you should understand that even the oil companies, almost all the big players now are renewable companies, energy companies, not oil and gas companies. So you could see that Total has changed its name to Total Energy. I know Statoil has changed its name to Equinor. And almost all of them. Now, the reason is because they are factoring all forms of energy. I think last week I went to Austria for a conference, and we drive all through Germany. And one thing I've seen is Germany uses all forms of energy, and this is common to almost all the European countries. Now you have the oil and gas. Imagine we have a lot of solar panel base or solar panel stations in the northern part of Nigeria, where you have a lot of sun. Imagine where you have wind, you have wind turbines in part of Nigeria where you have this strong, crazy wind, let's say maybe around Zamfara, all those axes, you know, and all of this is contributing to the energy the nation is contributing, like Dr. Ali said. We're exporting this energy to the other neighboring countries. So just read around how you could augment to the oil and gas sector, because PTDF is interested in everything that has to do both with the oil and gas, with the environment, with the energy sector generally. So just make your points right as much as possible. So I think Nuruddin.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Gideon, I think Nuruddin will take another.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, so Nuruddin, we're going to take a question from another person. Is that okay?
Hello, hello, I'm still with you.
Do you have another question?
Hello? Yes, I have another question. Can you hear me?
Very fast, go ahead, hurry up.
Yes, thank you. Please, I want to know the mode of the interview. Is it going to be a sort of relaxed mode, as maybe you're going to sit down and interact, or you're going to use maybe like a projector presentation or something? Just can you tell me how it's done?
You'll sit down and discuss with them over a table.
Okay, thanks for that. There's one thing that I'm still not very clear about with this proposal. Like in the room that we were today, I think we did some mock presentation of proposal, and I saw somebody writing aims and objectives. Is it possible for a single proposal to have many aims? For someone to write aims and objectives?
I don't really understand your question. Is it like you put it in bullet points or what?
No, as in writing in the proposal that the proposal has aims, not just a single aim. Aims and objectives. Is that okay?
It's okay. It's okay. I think you're saying it's one aim. No. You might not. Research is not meeting to only one thing. Huh? It's a path.
Okay.
That will solve a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay, like I have a contrary view to that.
Okay, go ahead, Tolishola.
Because I think that actually happened in my section. I saw something like that in one of the.
Yes, yes, I'm in your section. Yeah.
Aims, and in my own opinion, it is not in order. It should be aim and objective. Every research you have is single aim. You should have one focus. Then the objective are now how you want to achieve the aim. So you can have several objectives stating how you want to achieve that singular aim. So it should be just one aim, then some other objective can be maybe 2, 3, 4. So that's my opinion about that.
So I agree with you. It's like I said, it's a pathway. You have like a final destination. So that's what Dr. Shola called as the main aim. That's a final destination. But then, as long as you're moving the final destination, you're solving a lot of things, which I think the objectives can really come true. Is that okay? So please, we'll take Gideon. Yes. Gideon, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah,
thank you for the privilege. I want to ask a question regarding, currently I'm a lecturer, like an assistant lecturer in one of the universities. I'm aspiring to be, to go into the economic impact, the economic aspect, because I'm an economist. And my proposal is speaking about the impact of economic impact of technological advancements into the oil and gas industry. But however, I don't know while speaking about how this proposal of this my objective fits into that of PTDF or personal long-term goals after the program. Will it is there need for me to mention this area that I am lecturing currently, or is it going to reduce my chance or something? Maybe hoping that I ought to get other source of funding from the university itself.
So Gideon, being a lecturer, if I should know that being an academic person, you already have percentage for academic people coming from the university.
Come again, sir. I didn't hear you, sir.
So PTDF have a way they divide the entire thing. If you're a lecturer, you have higher chances of getting a funding than somebody that is completely not working but wants to do a PhD probably. The reason being the fact that because you're being an academic person, you're compo and do the PhD, you're expected to come back to your university to contribute to generally to research and then to the academic world. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a particular percentage that academic people coming from academic will occupy within their ward. So please mention you are already in the university. Is that okay, Gideon? I'm not sure Gideon is with us. Hi, Gideon. Hi, Gideon. Okay, I think it's off. So, Bosede Folashade, go ahead. Bosede.
Good evening, Sam.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for giving me the privilege to speak. I have a background in industrial chemistry, and I applied for biomass and waste for energy and material. So my question is, I really don't have experience in the aspect of biomass and recycling of waste into valued materials and energy sources. So will that affect my chance of getting the award?
Yeah, the faculty can answer, huh?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Somebody will answer you. One of the faculties will answer you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody having an answer for her? Okay, only it's on mute. Dr. Andy, you can go ahead.
Yes, please. So Bosede, yeah. It's a very simple. You don't have to go there and display your weaknesses. What you are going there is to display your strength. So you know your strength, you know what you applied for, you know what you want to do. Okay, concentrate on your strength. Okay, forget about the fact that you don't have any experience in anything. Okay, that's why we're all learning. We're all building ourselves. So concentrate on your strength. What you know you can do. That is what you're going to present to to defend yourself there before the panel. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Ekema, go ahead, please. Ekema, go ahead.
Okay, please, I want to ask, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have some questions I want to ask. First of all, talking about the certificates, the awards you've gotten and all that, what if I have an extra course I've done, maybe like an online course I've done, and I've gotten the certification on that particular thing, and it's relevant to my study, like I'm going for chemical engineering, while I'm focusing on, I want to focus my research on biorefining. Then I've also done some online courses on renewables and the economic impact of.
Mention it when you're answering your question.
Okay, I shouldn't go with the papers.
No, you can
the certificate.
You can go with it and mention it when you're speaking. So, but in case you want to confirm, do you have a proof to that? Then you can pick that from your documents.
Okay. Then secondly, what if, like you mentioned, some of the scholarships you've gotten over the years, what if the scholarship I've gotten, it's not like a nationally recognized scholarship? Let's say someone organizes a scholarship program for, there is this guy who was vying for a particular position in the House of Assembly. He organizes scholarships and all that, and I was a beneficiary. I have a certificate on that. Can I also tag it?
Well, was it a competition?
Yeah, it was. It was a competition. We wrote exam for it.
Oh yeah, you take it.
Okay, and lastly, my interview, I'm from Southeast, I'm from Abia State precisely, but I chose Port Harcourt because it's quite, I'm saying Port Harcourt. So I chose it as my interview center. Since the scholarship is the peak per state, will it affect my, am I supposed to do it? Okay.
So they will, if you like, you're from Northwest, you go and do your interview in Port Harcourt. Not because all results will be sent to PTDF, and then there will be, it will be ranked. You see? So if you do your interview in Lagos or Port Harcourt, it does not matter. Just go there and just blow the minds of the interviewers, and they'll give you 100 marks. Imagine you have 100 marks and
I'm claiming it already. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you so much.
Okay, Ado Oida, go ahead, please. We're taking you, Ado.
Thank you so much for the privilege to ask my question. I want to ask, what are some of the questions that we can put before the panel of interviewers? Some of the likely questions that we can ask them.
Okay, thank you.
Sir.
Yeah, we're with you, don't worry. I'm trying to other people.
Okay. Thank you. I don't remember who asked the question, but
I
just want to say something. First, I want to clarify that for those who have been answered, we still see hands up. Please just look at your screen and try to lower your hand. And I was also going to mention that there are some questions in the chat. I could try to, in one sentence, just clarify all of those. And I think the question you asked was already asked in the message. So I think it's about what kind of question can we ask the interview panel. Yes. So my direct answer is, yes. And this is what I always encourage, that you have to try to be in tune with the people who are interviewing you. Just very early on, try to make sure you are in, that rapport, you need to create it just immediately. And when you are well in tune with this, you will be able to ask questions based on the situation. So it can actually depend on the situation. I have experience in situation where the interview I spent forever preparing for, in a very short time, they said, we are done, you can go. And I could not swallow it. So I said, excuse, I have a question. How am I sure that you have gotten what you're looking for? And these are my exact words. So what I want to pick here is that my question was based on my situation. All right. Nevertheless, if this is not your case, yes, sir, feel free to ask things like, we have other things when you go for interview, but I think what comes more naturally is when you ask questions that is beneficial for you, that is not out of the scope. All right. And that's why I asked that you have to be in tune with what is happening and try to be in good connection with the people who are interviewing you in a very simple way, not like interrogating them, but just to, help me understand. Can I be sure that you have gotten what you're looking for? In this way, they can easily know that you want to just confirm that they got that. So you're free to ask questions so long it's relevant for the purpose of your interview. Try to be respectful with it, and you know how all of this can go. I'm speaking in the context of PTDF interview specifically. I hope that answers your question.
All right, sir. Now,
if I'm
yes, okay, I have one more question.
Okay, we have to take others.
One more question,
so
sir.
I wanted to say this, and thank you, Dr. Joshua, for mentioning this. I'm going to say that if possible, we want to encourage everyone else to try and prioritize your question prepare one good question. When it's your turn, ask the very important question you want to ask, because I know there can be several questions from each person, so that we can be able to go around. That's just what I want to have. One good question from one person. That could be helpful.
Olani, go ahead, please. Olani.
All right, then. Good evening. Well done. Actually, you guys are doing a very great job. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Perfect.
All right. So my question is, according to the online scoring card, are they going to ask questions in that format following the online scoring card you've displayed for us? And my second question is, how many copies of the document are we expected to go with? For example, the statement of purpose, how many copies am I to present to the panels?
I think you can make maybe at least 5 copies of your documents. The panels can be 4, 5, 6, but at least make 5, 6 copies of each of the documents. It all depends on the number of people you see on your panel. Huh? Is that okay, Olani? And I'm really not sure of the question he asked the first time. I didn't get it. Did any of the faculties get the question he was asking the first time? Okay, I think we take another person. Okay, go ahead, James Boyede. James Boyede. James, hi. Okay, if James is not there.
Hello.
Yes, James, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. So my question is around I think one thing that has been recurring is that talking about your awards is very important. So in a situation where you've been a beneficiary of an award in the past, but you probably didn't take up the offer due to some other reasons. So maybe you declined the offer, but you have the proof of offer. Did you mention that in the interview as part of the previous awards that you've benefited from?
So you did not use the award, you declined it. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. Anybody having an idea about that? Because you did not benefit from it. So
okay, let me say something about that. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
in my own opinion, I think you should be silent about that because it is not positive.
Yes.
Because PTDF may also think that if they give you this award, you can also decline it. So it is not a positive one. You should only declare an award you got and you enjoyed, not the one you got and you declined. It's not positive. Thank you.
Okay, so Shay. Okay, no, sorry, not Shay. Unity. Unity Ekube.
Thank you, sir. Evening, doctor. I just want to ask pertaining if you're already there, assuming you got the scholarship and maybe the school you applied to they advertise for a fully funded program. Is it possible to run it two together like that? That PTDF sponsor you while the one you apply for is fully funded over there?
No. You only take one and run with, and part of what you're going to sign is you are only going to benefit only this funding. That's what you're signing. Is that okay?
Okay, then, all right.
So if either you select PDF or you go for the other one.
Okay, then second, I want to ask about this renewable energy, although I've gotten explanation that because I was actually thinking, because I'm working on producing hydrogen fuel, which is like an alternative to fossil fuel. So although he has said it's not contradicting, because we should be thinking about going to that too, because so that when it totally phase out fossil fuel, we should have something to do. So I want to still ask, is it not still going to contradict, or they say, well, I can still go around it to still make it look nice to them?
No, I don't think it's going to contradict, because I can tell you with authority that every oil company is doing research now on oil and gas. Okay, oil and gas is not really more of research, they're doing more production. And a lot of money is going into CCUS, hydrogen production, geothermal energy.
Okay, wind and solar.
So wind,
solar,
and so on. So please present your case well, but do not say, oh, we want to phase out oil and gas. No, these are alternative energy sources, like we said. Very good. Okay. Okay. Oh, I think we've spent extra time, and we really need in the next 5 minutes to, I think we have to close by, we've spent a lot of time. Shayi, go ahead, please. We'll take Shayi as the last person, and then we'll take the comments of the faculty. And then please, if you have any other question, drop it on the WhatsApp group, and then we'll respond to it accordingly. So Shayi, go ahead, please. You're the last person.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. I study mathematics, and presently a research executive, like my current role, what I'm doing, a research executive in a market research company. So my SOP is about data analysis, because that's what I'm actually doing as well in my place of work. But when I was applying, my choice of school, I could not find data analysis there. So I picked petroleum data management. So I don't know, is there any implication, since looking at the SOP and what I picked for the school?
So what you're saying, if the SOP does not match the course you picked, is that correct?
Yes, but I feel like I can get to divert and relate it as well. But I don't, since it does not match in the board.
I think at the first instance, your SOP is supposed to be according to what you're applying to. So if you're applying to the data management, generally, data management is more around data engineering and so on. So you're a mathematician, you can do it. It's all in the same order, the same family. I get it.
Okay.
So speak more around both your expertise in data analysis, data science, and then data management. So go and read about it and discuss everything within that family.
Okay. Then my second question, please. Is it possible for me to, because I was seeing something like your publication and proposals, is it possible for me to present my work proposal, like what I've been doing at work, because we have a lot of clients we get to work with to carry out we carry out research on their market trend, and so is it possible for me to present that?
Is it published?
No, it is what we give to our clients. We don't get to publish it out.
Then those are client data that's not even supposed to be out.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I wouldn't want you to come to my interview with somebody's client information when probably you have signed an NDA.
Okay. Thank you.
So what publications are what is already in the public? So
we don't get to publish that in my own department, in my own domain. We don't get to publish anyone out. It's just to work with our clients.
So if you have done extensive data analysis and so on, do you have a GitHub account where you have samples of work you use public data from the public domain and you have it there?
Yes, I think I have. I have something like that.
Then probably you can, that's already on the public domain, but please don't carry company thing to an interview. But Dr. Lukman wants to talk. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you. So I just want to include this, and also because there is a question in the chat about this. If you can include your CV, it's very important to continue to emphasize that it's an opportunity to just sell yourself by any possible means. So, like what you're actually talking about now, I imagine you can carefully detail it in your CV in a very fantastic way that gives the message you want to pass and helps you to stand out. All right. So you can actually include your CV and help. From my understanding, you have a training in mathematics and you have experience in data analytics. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
These spells details, I mean, these are strengths for you if you organize them well in your CV. And you never can tell. Those panels could just pick your CV and begin to see some of your experience, expertise, things you've done, and that it goes on from there. So please put some, for the general response to even the question in the chat also, put your CV and make it look as fantastic as you can. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think we'll just listen to the faculty so to give their closing marks, and then I think we'll have to call it a day. So the faculty, go ahead.
Okay, maybe I start.
Absolutely.
From my side, out of the 4 people I'm supposed to interview, I think just 3 of them appeared. And in my own judgment, I think from their presentation, they have what it takes to really get the award, because they are actually they presented with all clarity and they have a good knowledge of their study. But I had to point out 1 or 2 things. They also had to take into cognizance, which has to do with one of them have some typo errors. But typo error in the topic. So this should be avoided as much as possible. So I believe all of this should have been corrected earlier on. Because it's an obvious error that can knock anybody out.
You can correct it before and print a new document to take it down.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. So correct. If you still notice error in your work, correct it. Take a copy along. So even if it was pointed out, because possible the interviewer will have a copy on their system. If they point it out, you can let them know you already take note of it, and this is an updated version. So they will know you already know about that. Then one question that will usually come is that why don't you consider doing your PhD in Nigeria? Somebody will ask you that, because I was asked that type of question in my day, that why are you going outside the country? So you must be able to give them a good answer for that. Not discriminating Nigeria University, because from the responses I got, some of them were saying, oh, our university here do not have the facility. No, don't tell them they don't have the facility. You are indicting the government that they are not doing their work. You can let them, you can just tell them that you want, for the sake of exposure, for the sake of exposure, you want to go to a new environment. Maybe you did your 1st degree, 2nd degree in Nigeria, so you want a new environment where you can learn new culture. So, but not that our university are not good or we don't have the facility. Please don't say that. We should take note of that. Therefore, another thing that we should take note, be ready for, is that somebody can ask you that if you don't get the award, what will you do? If this award does not come, so you should also have an answer for that. That what's your plan? That what are your future plans? Even if you don't get this PTDF award. So I think those are the major. Then, as much as possible, we should be we should speak with clarity in terms of we raise our voice properly. Don't let the interviewer start asking you, what did you say? Can you repeat yourself? You know, it's not too pleasant. So be clear from the beginning to the end. So thank you very much.
Okay. Then Dr. Hanley, it's Mohammed around. Okay, I'm meeting you, Dr. Hanley. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I will just give a brief. Yeah, it was an amazing experience interviewing people. I think for those in my cohort, I had to ask them first, should I be nice or I should be very mean? And initially they said I should be very mean and, just drill them. But later, I gave them that piece of advice, and I'm giving it generally here as well, that the most significant part of your work is your methodology. Make sure that your work is doable, especially for the PhD. For the masters, you're going to be discussing your courses. Your research proposal is, if it doesn't have a way of showing that that work is achievable, then nobody will award you, to be honest with you. It has to be achievable, and then within the time frame that you're going to be given. It's basically 36 months, or some, I hear that now they've started giving 48 months. So it's very important. And like Dr. Shola has said, it's your day. You have to prove it. You have to prove to them that you are worthy, of going for a PhD or going for master's abroad, because you're going to be an ambassador of PTDF. So yeah, so I wish you the very best of luck. And for those in my cohort as well, I did say I was going to drop my email, but you can just contact me on the group page and we can sort that out. So all the best.
Okay, Lukman, go ahead, please.
Okay, so it was actually at our end, we had for the 4 proposals I had, we started by having a general presentation where I actually talk about how they should prepare and what to expect from the interview and what your proposer is expected to have. It appears that there are very more people in my group who want to add more proposals, but because we're trying to have the sample interview, we went with only the 4, but we also tried something else, which is actually to go over some of the things expected in the proposal. So what I did with my people, which I had a small slide to follow up with this, is to allow them to be able to of the work, and it should always be adaptive. Make sure you're in tune with the environment.